adding and subtracting using algorithms. Now, an algorithm is just a process or a set of steps that we use to solve a problem. So, steps to solve a problem. And the question says, use an algorithm to evaluate. Now, evaluate, look at that word, it's got value in it. It says find the value of the answer or the number answer. Find the number answer. That's it. That's what evaluate means. So we've got two questions here. We're adding and subtracting with more than one digit numbers. And we've done this before, but you might just need a reminder. So when we're adding 938 plus 217, remember we put a line underneath. Our units should be lined up, and then our tens are lined up, and our hundreds are lined up. Now the question's done that for me, but if they hadn't done it, I would have to line them up. Remember, we start at the units for both of these. And I'm going to do 8 plus 7. If you need to, you count that on. So that's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I've counted on 7. And so that 8 plus 7 is 15. Now remember, we can put down the units of that, the 5, but the 1 in 15 actually means 110. So one lot of 10. So that goes over here to be added in later. Now you can put it up the top, or you can put it down the bottom to add it in later, but the one thing you can't do, don't squeeze it in here and think this is 13. It's not. This is a 1 and a 1 and a 3. And we're going to add this 1 in to this whole column. So we've added the units, we add the tens. We've got 3 plus 1, which is 4, and this 110 that we had left over, 5. Put in our 5. Nothing to carry on that because it was less than 10. So we move to the hundreds. 9 plus 2 is 11. So the units, 1 goes here. Now, I would carry the 1 in the tens column over to here, but there's nothing in here to add in, so it can go straight into there. 1,155. And if you do a quick check, like 900, or 938, pretty close to 900. This is pretty close to 200. 900 plus 200, pretty close to 1100. That sounds about right. So if you do a quick guess and check that you got roughly in the right ballpark, that's a really good strategy. So remember, you start at the units, you put down your units answer, and you carry the tens answer to be added in with the tens. Subtraction. Here I've got 141 minus 86. Again, lined up with our units lined up and our tens lined up. Put our line underneath, and again we're going to start at the units. Same strategy. It's going to be 1 minus 6. Now a big trap that a lot of you fall into is you think back this way, and you go, well, 6 minus 1 is 5. But that's not what they asked for. Subtraction doesn't work both ways. 1 minus 6 is very different from 6 minus 1. 6 minus 1 is 5. 1 take away 6 is minus 5. So there's a big difference in the value of that. And we've got to stick with the order they gave us. They told us to do 141 take away 86. 1 take away 6, we can't do it. We have to borrow. And we borrow from here. Because remember, this is one lot of 1, and this is 4 lots of 10. So if I borrow one of these and leave only 3 left, then that's one lot of 10 that's going into here to make this 11. So I've got 11 units now, because I pinched 10 from there and I had 1. And 11 take away 6 is 5. I can do that. Now, instead of doing, now I've dealt with the units, instead of doing 3 minus 8, because again, that's going to end up as down in the negatives, I can't do it, I'm going to borrow this 1. Now you can actually just think about it as units, although of course we are in the tens here. If I borrow this 1 and put it in front of that, now I've got enough numbers here to take the 8 away from. 13 minus 8, I've got a lot of 5s in this question. 55. And the 1 has already gone, so it's 0 minus 0, nothing goes here. I've got my answer. If you're not feeling really sure if you got it right, you can reverse it and see if you get back to the start. So let's do a check for this one. A check here is take your answer and the second number and reverse what we did. This was minus, let's make it plus. 55 plus 86 should work out back to 141 if we got that right. If this minus this gives us that, then that plus that has to add up to this one. 5 plus 6, I'll write that a little bit bigger for you so you can see what I'm doing more easily. Check. 55 plus 86. Now we're practicing our addition skills again. 5 plus 6 is 11. Put down the 1. And remember our units, tens number goes here, which is another 1. Add these up. 5 plus 8 plus 1. Well, 5 plus 8 is 13, plus 1 is 14. Put down the 4. The 1 would carry, but there's nothing else here, so I've got a 1. I got back to the same number that I started with, so that says I got this right. So if you've got time in a test, you can always work back through your question to see if you get back to the start. So if I wanted to check this one, have a think about how I'd reverse it to get back to that. I ended up with this. It was plus, so I reverse it to make it minus. 217, now remember our units have to line up. And if I subtract that and I got this right, I should get this as my answer. So we do the check. 5 minus 7, I can't do it. I'll have to borrow from this 5, leaving 4 and carrying that 1 to there to make 15. 15 minus 7 is 8. Am I expecting to get an 8 there? Yes, I am. 4 minus 1, I can do that. That's 3. Hey, we're looking pretty good to get back to our original number. 1 minus 2, can't do, but I can borrow that 1 and make this 11. 11 minus 2 is 9. I got back to my original number, so I know my answer to this question is correct. So, today's lesson. How do you add and subtract using the algorithm? We've had a practice question of each, and then when we checked each one, we got another practice question. Remember to be very careful with carrying your tens when you're adding, and being very careful to borrow when you need to when you're subtracting.